Today I will be talking about how the Ebola virus attacks the adaptive immune system. The dendritic cells are the first to be infected, and they bridge the gap between the innate and adaptive immune system. The Ebola virus binds onto the dendritic cell receptors, gaining access to inside. Once inside, Ebola begins to release its genetic material, and then the replication process can begin. The replicated Ebola then dissolves the cell membrane, and the Ebola virus is released into the surrounding cells and bloodstream. The cell-mediated response is also happening. The pathogen infects the cell by entering the nucleus and replicating its own genetic material. The pathogen is digested and presented on the MHC1 protein. TC cells proliferate, and the activated TC cells bind to the infected cell, which perforates the cell membrane, apoptosis. Lymphocytes come along and clean up the mess afterwards. This is the introduction of the TC cells and TH cells. The wrong proteins are then delivered, which causes the TC and TH cells to die prematurely. Due to the immune system experiencing total mayhem, the body orders a cytokine storm as a last resort in order to get rid of the Ebola virus. However, it's important to note that the healthier or the stronger that your immune system is, the greater damage it does to the body and itself. The issuing of a cytokine storm, which causes damage to the immune system and the body, leads to more fluid leaving the bloodstream. This can lead to organ failure. Due to the high amount of internal bleeding and dehydration that the body is facing, resulting in organ failure, the death rate is extremely high for those infected with Ebola. With Ebola having such a catastrophic effect on the body, it's important to ask why it became an epidemic. The main reason is that the transmission factors were incredibly effective. The consumption of bushmeat such as primates and bats was incredibly high due to the customs and cultural traditions. Bodily fluids such as sweat, blood, mucus, saliva, and urine were all effective modes of transmission. This is due to the low and poor sanitation of Liberia, the handling of bodily fluids during traditional burial rituals, and not washing hands or practicing basic hygiene after going to the bathroom or doing other activities. Another reason why it was so effective in becoming an epidemic was it was able to disguise itself and turn the immune system against itself. This led to a high infection rate amongst a susceptible population. Vaccines are the process of injecting a weakened antigenic material into the body to stimulate an individual's immune system to respond. The use of vaccines is extremely helpful and life-saving. I will now explain how a vaccine works. The white blood cells or lymphocytes roam around until they find an antigen, or in the case of viral infections, the virus. Once the antigen or virus has been found by the lymphocytes, they get ready to fight, or in the cases of a virus, they subdue it. The virus is subdued until it can exit the body and the antigen is killed. In the case of an antigen, the lymphocytes come along and clean it up. Afterwards, the lymphocytes stand down, but a few cells remain as memory cells. Vaccination is an effective procedure to stop the spread of disease, as it creates memory cells, which create a faster immune response and recognition of the disease. It is also effective to stop the spread of disease through herd immunity. The blue dots are immunised people, the red dots are sick not immunised people, and the black dots are not immunised people. The top diagram shows that the lack of immunisation amongst the population results in an easy spread, whilst the bottom shows that a high immunisation rate makes the spread limited. Thanks for watching my video on how Ebola attacks the adaptive immune system and the explanation of vaccinations and why they are effective.